If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
Shout
yes,
out
dear
to
listener.
DJ Nick, our Friday DJ for the next quite a few weeks, I guess.
All right, let's go. DJ Nick, let's do it. I Walk Alone by the band Saliva will be playing shortly. Coming out the gate heavy?
This television has a poison on its breast. This counterculture of both wicked lies and death. It makes my eyes bleed every time I turn around. How will they all feel when I bring them to the ground? And I say, I walk for miles inside this pit of danger. A place where no one follows me. I walk alone.
Woo! I love that.
I'm sick of all these people talking out their ears. I've never understood a damn thing that they said. From words to actions, never knowing what they're about. I guess I'll have to chew them up and spit them out. And I said, I walk for miles inside this pit of danger. I swallow down 1,000 years of anger. The weight of the world is falling on my shoulders. A place where no one follows me. I walk alone. inside this pit of danger. I've swallowed down 1,000 years of anger.
That's a crazy line.
The weight of the world is falling on my shoulders. A place where no one follows me. I walk alone.
Apparently, I was looking at the comment section. There's a wrestler called Batista, and I guess this is his intro music. So that's why everybody was like,
Well,
actually,
I
it
saw
says Batista right
here,
there.
but
Yeah,
I didn't know. You know, I thought of Starbucks.
Yeah,
Barista.
that's a barista.
I know. But
That's a Batista.
yeah,
Subhanallah.
I know. I just said I thought of it when I saw it. I didn't think it was talking about Starbucks, babe. My God.
I mean, you. How did you pronounce saliva? You called it Saliza or something
No,
like
I said
that. You're-
Sylvia or something
Sylvia,
like that.
your baby
'Cause
brain
I
is
didn't
killing
look
you
at it,
right
babe.
now.
I didn't look at it.
Yeah, but you always do that though when you read though. You always like yeah, ever since you had the baby brain. Baby brain's a real thing, man.
I know. Please leave me alone with it. Okay.
All right, here we go. Here are the lyrics.
Oh no, this is about to go south again, huh?
No, I don't think it's going to go south. It says
This
your
television
television
has poison on its breath. This counterculture of both wicked lives and death. It makes my eyes bleed every time I turn around. How will they all feel when I bring them to the ground? And I said,
Okay.
I just assumed.
I walk for miles inside this pit of danger, a place where no one follows me. I walk alone. I'm sick of all these people talking about their hits. I never understood a damn word they said, from words to actions, never knowing what they're about. I guess I'll have to chew them up and spit them out. I walk for miles in this pit of danger. I swallow down 1,000 years of anger. The weight of the world is falling on my shoulders. I walk alone. That's an interesting situation. So he's looking at TV. He's looking at
the news, man.
He's looking at TV, and you're thinking it's the news. I mean, it says it's talking about talking heads, basically. He says, "Makes my eye bleed every time I turn around." What year was this written?
And there goes the copyright strike.
And there goes the copyright strike I was afraid of. That's funny.
I don't know. Maybe he's
redo it.
It comes up. You always have me refresh it, but
Yeah, that's weird. I'm not seeing a copyright
wait,
strike.
what's happening? Why is it doing that? No, it's not.
Yeah, it's still live.
Okay, well, he must have been talking about something else. Anyway,
Are you guys not seeing us?
I was. Yeah. Okay. I was talking to the neighbor, and I had mentioned something about the news, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't watch the news. It's just too depressing."
Is that what they said? Mm-hmm. Wow, they're talking about it like it's like we're not there. Refresh it one more time. He's saying we see you. What? They can't hear us? Because people are saying copyright. Can you turn up the volume, maybe? People saying they can't hear us. Maybe there's a mic issue. People are saying copyright. I don't know. I mean, sounds like we're good.
Matt said, "Okay, I can see you
Yeah,
now."
we're good. We're good. Don't worry about it. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Folks, refresh. Yeah, you guys need to refresh. No, I was talking to the neighbor, and we were, something about the news came up, and then she was like, "Yeah, I don't watch the news. It's just too depressing." And yeah, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Some stuff you're kind of forced. Like, there's some stuff that basically goes viral, and then everybody knows about it, regardless if you're a news person or not. And there's enough of that without feeling like bogged down by the day-to-day, every single, knowing about all that's going on. This television has poison on its breath. So So to me, I thought of the news when I was hearing it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he's watching the stuff on TV, whether it's the news or whatever, and apparently it actually makes him feel more isolated because it says the name of the song is I Walk Alone, and it starts off saying the television has poison on its breath. So
yeah,
I think what's happening is there a reason that door's open?
Yes. Why?
Okay. So he's I think what is happening is he's looking at TV, and the things that TV is presenting as normal, whether it's news or sitcoms or shows, he's finding less and less and less in common with what he's seeing on TV, which then makes him feel like he's by himself.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Right, because the name of the song is I Walk Alone, and he's talking about what he sees on TV, and he's saying,
yeah,
I'm not like that. And I used to have this friend, and they didn't have a lot of parental direction. Mm-hmm. And so anytime something happened, she would always make reference to a movie or a show. She'd say, well, in this movie, this happened. And I'm like, we're in the real world. Who cares? Mm-hmm. But she really was pretty much took her cues from TV.
Yeah.
And so I think I think it's even worse with social media now, although the benefit of social media is it does promote even more isolationism to a degree, but what it also does is you end up finding these little niches all over the internet where you belong. So, like, for example, the Village. We have a small little subculture in our community, and, you know, we've got Discord, we got Facebook or whatever, and it's their own little ecosystems and, you know, whatever, and it's not really based on us. Mm-hmm. It's, you know, we were sort of like the gathering point, but then once people found each other, they went off and created their own little things or whatever. And so
I knew that was true when one day I like scrolled into Discord and they were talking shit about us. I was like, okay, it's not about us.
Then there was this time this guy got in a fight. This guy got in a fight with somebody, and I'm pretty sure it was Zonia or something like that, which of course Zonia and I, like, we talk all, like, so this guy was like making some complaint, and he had some complaint in Discord, and I said, man, I don't do anything with Discord. Like, I have no power over that. They're like, well, it's your villagers and your, you know, the guy was actually on Patreon for a while. He's like, he basically said, you know, punish them immediately or something. And I was like, all I did was I said, hey, Z, this guy was in your group or whatever, and, you know, here's the thread. I don't really have anything to do with this. Like, you know, like, I don't know what you guys do. Like, handle that shit. Like, you know, or tell me what you want me to tell them. Like, my point is, like, now you can find little subcultures of people that, you know, that relate to you and understand you. But even back then in 2001, I mean, I'm sure there were message boards and things, but it was harder to find your tribe, and a lot of, like, societal norms were dictated by the media. They told you what was cool. They told you what to eat. They just dictated everything. And then, like, this guy, it was like the easiest way for me to see the influence of media on society in New York was fashion. So if you turned on MTV and Jay-Z was wearing something, everybody had to get those. And if you weren't wearing what Jay-Z had, then you were a bum. You were this, you were that. People would make fun of you whole 9 yards. And, like, it leads you to feel isolated, obviously, because you're not in that little box. Whereas now,
crazy.
I think it creates a situation where you can find your tribe. The bad side of that, obviously, is the fact that the Buffalo shooter found his tribe, but unfortunately his tribe were a bunch of Nazi, you know, hardcore race whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know, it can be dangerous, but I think overall, I actually do think, because a lot of people complain about the advent of technology and social media, and I think there are dangers for social media, but I also do think that there are some really good spaces and areas where you can meet people and find your tribe, and actually it could be something really, really cool and something uplifting and something affirming and things like that.
So that's my take on it. So that people don't have to walk alone anymore. It's just one of those things where it's like, you just have to make sure that you're interfacing with the right subculture. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then who determines that? Well, the subculture that doesn't try to inspire you to mass murder a whole bunch of people. That would be a good sign. Yeah. What were your thoughts?
Well, like I said, to me it was like, about the news and stuff like that. And I thought the part where he says, I walk for miles inside this pit of danger. I've swallowed down 1,000 years of anger. I thought that was an interesting line. And, that could be because of what you've seen. That, I think that fits. I don't know. I feel like the longer that we're alive, the more reasons we have to not deal with things that make us angry.
Yeah.
And I was talking to somebody who's, probably doubles me in age. And, I don't know. It was sad just, talking to the person, and because I think that there's a lot of unresolved things that the person probably will never be able to resolve. Like, if you're a person that wants to work, like, you are desperately, like, trying to make sure everybody in our family communicates well, and that everybody listens to each other, but that everybody gets a chance to speak. And I think it's a really cool environment. And sometimes it feels a little bit, over the top or stressful because there's so many of us. But at the same time, like, that's how you have real relationship with people. And that's how you don't have to swallow down 1,000 years of anger, because you deal with, and that principle is in the Bible. It talks about if somebody sins against you, you're supposed to go right to them and talk to them about it. And if they won't listen, then you bring a second person with you. And then if they don't listen, then you go up even a little bit more than that. So it's really putting in the effort to try to work stuff out. And also it says, like, if it's possible, live peaceably with all men. Because if possible, like, some people just refuse to live at peace with other people. They want conflict, they want chaos, they want that, and they're always going to do that. But there are people who, you can work it out with, and sometimes you'd be surprised, like, what will happen if you try to have an honest conversation with somebody about something. Like, you might think that they're just going to shut it down and not listen to you or whatever, but I think that people are pleasantly surprised a lot of times when somebody actually wants to have a conversation about something, not because you're trying to tell them, look, like, you're such a screw up, you did this, you did that, but just because you're trying to say, hey, like, this hurt me, or, whatever. And a lot of times, anger is a defense mechanism for pain or sorrow. Because sadness kind of feels so weak and it makes you feel so vulnerable. And so people would rather switch that out for anger because you feel more in control. You feel more, it's more powerful, and it's not a position where you're laying on your back. It's like you're more the aggressor in the situation. But obviously when you're in that place, then you end up, messing up more relationships, or, making things more complex than they need to be, because I think that people don't respond well to somebody's angry with them. Like, people go on the defense and then they can't really hear. But when people say, hey, like, this hurt me and I was hurt by that, blah, 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 like, that sort of, like, I don't know, you're kind of coming vulnerable to somebody. So like, I thought of that, like, when he was talking about the 1,000 years of anger, and then he says, the weight of the world is falling on my shoulders, a place where no one follows me, I walk alone. And again, I felt like that the anger thing was connected to all of that. And that kind of crushing feeling, like, that you can see sometimes, like, people that are very old, like, they have, like, that sort of, a lot of times if you see, like, really old people, it almost seems like they got to a point where they were like, fuck it, it's not important, and then they just let the stuff go.
It's fascinating because bad communication seems to be universal and then specified to gender. So, for example, especially in evangelical subcultures, apparently women are not supposed to voice anger. Mm-hmm. So that was a big thing. Like, in the church we're at, the girls would never say they were angry about anything, and you wouldn't. You'd say, I'm annoyed, whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it became this thing where I guess evangelical women were not allowed to be angry, and simultaneous to that, men are not allowed to express, I'm sad, I'm hurt, what you said hurt my feelings. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I went on a big crusade about communication, and I found it very fascinating, because I saw that Dorian particularly was very, very sensitive kid. And so I know the world he's going into. So I remember pulling him aside 5, 6 years old, and I still do. I said, Dorian, when you really, really become a man, you're going to go out there and people are going to tell you that your sensitivity is a weakness. And I said, it's your greatest strength. Never cover that shit up for anybody. Like, it's good that you're sensitive, and it's good that you cry quickly. That's good. That's okay. You've got a lot of empathy for people, and that's great. And you should express that. And so that was something where I'm like, I know the world is gonna destroy that. But it was fascinating. I didn't really get crazy about the girls until we got married, and then you wouldn't communicate. And I'd be like, what the fuck? Why didn't you tell me? And I, you were socialized, not to disrespect anybody or anything, but you just weren't told that women were. Is it a woman thing, or is it just you shouldn't? Is it women? What was the messaging you got about communicating how you felt?
I don't think any words were used, but the environment that was created, we couldn't express certain things. And you might, you heard it too growing up, fix your face, stuff like that. Yeah. If you want to do that, go to your room and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, if you had any negative emotion, if you were hurt, you could show. But
like
again,
physically hurt.
Yeah, like if you physically got hurt, or like if somebody had broke your heart or something, you could cry about that, stuff like that. Like that wasn't like frowned upon. But at the same time, I don't really know. I don't know if it was. It seems to me that no words were really used, but there was something that was understood that you weren't.
I'm amazed. Like, when I was in the professional world and, inevitably you work with women, almost every single woman I've ever worked with, I've had to pull to the side and say, listen, I know that I'm your boss, whatever, but if I do some dumb shit, you got to tell me. Like, and I could tell they didn't trust me. And there had to be a couple of times, and then, eventually you hear it to where they're just like, you're an idiot, whatever. And it's like, that's what right? Like, don't.
Yeah.
But
sometimes I'm like, you've gone too far.
Yeah. But it was like, it's so hard because definitely evangelicals, but I just think as a whole, men and women, we're just not taught to communicate.
Yeah.
We're just, it's very, very interesting. Okay. What do you get the song?
I liked it. I didn't think, maybe it was the copy of the song, but the production didn't sound very good. It wasn't clear enough. And I don't know if that's, typical of their band, or, like I said, if it was just happened to be the copy that we listened to. I liked the sound of his voice, and I also liked the sound of the instruments. Again, I just would have wanted it, clearer. So, what?
Dumb shit like thinking Lennon is alive. Guys, I just saw the funniest picture of John Lennon, and I'm pretty sure that was Yoko. Their bums looked so weird. It's very weird. They took this picture of...
It was talking about how they're both on the spectrum. He has a really big crack and she has almost a non-existent one.
All right.
It was so weird looking.
All right. What do you give the song? It's an 8.5 for me.
Man. 8.5. 9.1.
That one finger riff thing. I'm going to show you how to play it. All right, there you are, dear listener. Do not touch that dial. Don't go anywhere. We have much more for you on the way.
More.
Who's next? There's a band called,
Downstat. How are you going to say that? Kingdom is the name of the song.
Okay, we don't know the name of the next song. We just know there's going to be another song.
The name of the next song is
it's
Kingdom.
It's probably Corn or something like that.
No.
We shall return.